It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended, and where it began again. It's where they made me.
This part of the void feels older.
Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the wounds only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god. Now you know Delilah's secret. At the end of her days, she drifted to the void and should have been lost forever. But her will and cunning are second to none. She found this place, the island in the void where I became what I am. It changed her, and she discovered a way to draw from it, tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it. You have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away, inside a thing made of bones. She's made herself immortal. If you want to kill Delilah, you're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy, but what comes after that might be the hardest thing you will ever have to do.
The world contains more mysteries than I imagined. Now to meet up with Sokolov again at the skiff, after a very strange day.
Why'd they slow down flow 4? Did Marco say? Apparently the family committee made a request. Too much dust was pissing down.
Oh, at least Stilton listens. More than I can say for the Grand Guard.
Yeah, the Duke is rotten and it spreads out from there. But Airman Stilton is a good man.
Tony said that. He drinks at my brother's pub.
He knows we appreciate him. Karnaca has problems, but it could be a lot worse here in this district.
Your face is covered. And the Grand Guard won't like that.
Up for a beer later?
We get approval for the new ventilation shaft. It'll mark a real victory. More air means less dusty lung. Without airness, we'd be cooked. Someone who actually understands what it's like to
Not this time.
You should all thank Stilton. The only one of you lazy and rich worth anything. Back to work, all of you!
Lucia Pastor, right? You really think you can make a difference here?
Considering who you are, I don't know whether to feel honored that you recognize me, or to yell at you for propping up the Duke while he's shitting all over Serkonos.
And who do you think I am?
I'm not stupid. Whether the newspapers and the posters in the street are right or wrong, I know who you are. And I hope you're here to end Luca Abella's tyranny. Either way, we haven't been sitting around waiting for you to clean up your mess.
Sounds like you have a plan.
No, nothing that solid. Not yet. But I believe the Duke will fall, eventually. All I can say is that when you reach the Grand Palace, just be aware that not everyone there is your enemy. Trust your judgment.
All right. I'll remember that.
Anyway, good luck. There's still a chance to make something new here in Karnaca. Something that serves everyone, not just some rapacious bastard with a title. There's always so much to do. So little time to think. The mining families in the district work as hard as the miners. Kids to feed, sick people to care for, homes to run. Families we represent are very poor, but aren't afraid of hard work. Good people.
This is the Duke of Serkonos. Another thing. While all the prominent city leaders attended the most recent palace dinner, yes, true, I excluded Vice Overseer Liam Byrne. Contrary to what the Abbey believes, I do not hate them. But no one tells me when to stop drinking. And how is it possible to eat when someone is sermonizing on the risks of consuming vermin? Why is this even a question? Whoever wanted to eat rat flesh in the first place? Apart from the unfortunate poor, they're excluded from palace functions.
Stilton agreed to a meeting with the woman heading up the family committee. What's her name again?
Lucia Pastor. She's supposed to talk to Stilton soon about new safety rules for the mines. Fewer hours for the children working down there, too.
Why does Pastor care in the first place? She isn't one of us. Never seen her carrying a pick or a shovel.
There's a rumor that she was in love with a miner. Someone who died in an accident. They say his body's still under the mountain, buried in silver.
I think Lucia Pastor just has a good heart and a strong will.
Well, if Stilton listens to what she has to say, instead of following every idiotic request coming from the Grand Palace, I won't complain.
Stilton's not a bad man. I bet things would be a lot worse without him running the mines.
Slow down.
Now to meet up with Sokolov again at the skiff, after a very strange day. More air means less dusty lung. Hello there. What can I do for you? The Family Miners Committee is here for everyone.
But Aaron Stilton is a good man. I'll tell you. Things that my brother's fine. You know we appreciate him. Karnaka has problems, but it could be a
I told her, if you want my advice, just pay the fine and be done with it. No use making trouble.
Lucia Pastor, right? You really think you can make a difference here?
Considering who you are, I don't know whether to feel honored that you recognize me or to yell at you for propping up the Duke while he's shitting all over Serkonos.
And who do you think I am?
I'm not stupid. Whether the newspapers and the posters in the street are right or wrong, I know who you are. And I hope you're here to end Luca Abella's tyranny. Either way, we haven't been sitting around waiting for you to clean up your mess.
Sounds like you have a plan.
No, nothing that solid. Not yet. But I believe the Duke will fall, eventually. All I can say is that when you reach the Grand Palace, just be aware that not everyone there is your enemy. Trust your judgment.
All right. I'll remember that.
Anyway, good luck. There's still a chance to make something new here in Karnaka. Something that serves everyone, not just some rapacious bastard with a title.
Stilton agreed to a meeting with the woman heading up the family committee. What's her name again?
Lucia Pastor. She's supposed to talk to Stilton soon about
Maybe no one else will even notice. But things have changed here. For the better.
Coming to him, Megan. Leaders rise and fall. Even the greatest problem.
You're back. That was quick.
Remember what you saw here when you're back in Dunwall, Emily. My final lesson, perhaps.
Sorry I couldn't take you to see Stilton myself. But I guess you found the place. Years back, Stilton was always quiet about the Duke. I never figured out just why. Let's get back to the dreadful whale.
Are you ready to leave? The dust is wreaking havoc on my throat.
Yes. I paid a visit to Byrne and Paolo. At least I think I did. And I've been to Aramis Stilton's house. Duke Luca Abel tore down the old palace in Karnaca and built himself a new one. A monument to his ego. Whether he knows it's coming or not, I'm here to make him pay for everything he's done. I'm going to show him what happens to those who turn traitor to the Empire. After tonight, the Duke will either be dead or deposed, depending on how this plays out. Whatever happens to Serkonos in the aftermath is his fault. Not mine. I've got to get inside, take care of the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
Can you feel it? This is my last night. Soon, I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You should be at peace.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon.
Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it.
Yes. I regret my affiliation with the young Duke, but his father and I were close. It was my hope that Luca would eventually grow up and learn that his actions as ruler of Serkonos had very real consequences.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances and navy. Maybe without that, he would have developed a healthy respect for the people of Serkonos. Fear of the executioner's block has been a fine motivator for many a ruler.
Once the Duke falls, it's my hope that we can build something better here. Something more representative and inclusive.
A gangster could never be trusted to run a city. Byrne wanted to be High Overseer. I wonder what Aramis Stilton can accomplish now that things are different. Duke Abel spared no expense on his new palace. It's tacky if you ask me.
Going after the one who started it all. The Duke himself. I forgot the thrill of it. Planning drop-off points, picking the approach. Thinking about the best ways to kill somebody who lives behind high walls. But with the excitement, there's a black echo that comes back to me for what I did at Dunwall Tower. If anyone deserves killing, though, it's Duke Luca Abel. I've loved a number of women, and even a couple of men. I've never loved anyone like my Deirdre. After I left home, those first years on the streets, she's all that kept me from the bottom of the river. I could sleep on a pile of garbage under a leaky awning as long as she was there with me. Sharing a tin of potted meat or a bottle of brandy. We nicked during the day. The Duke and his little brother came through Dunwall. And Deirdre and I got in their way as they stepped out of their fancy coach. The Duke goaded his brother, calling us wharf roaches. And it was the brother who swung the stick that killed her. Splitting her skull, there were wooden gazelles on top of the coach. And I snapped one off and drove it into his eye, as deep as it would go. Deirdre was already gone. Dead as a doornail. Lying in the muck, staring up at the gray Dunwall sky. On the run after that. I was hunted by the City Watch and even members of the Grand Guard up from Zirconos. People looked at me like I was cursed, spitting whenever I got close. Everyone knew I'd bring trouble. Even the gangs. The Duke's brother has been dead for a long time. But now's my chance to get back at Luca Abel for setting him off against pretty, young Deirdre. Nothing was the same for me after they took her away.
Are you ready for this? I've been inside a dozen castles and 100 mansions, and they're the same everywhere. The Duke's palace can't be anything worse than Lady Brisby's social afternoons.
Getting inside might not be the hard part. The Duke doesn't exactly run a tight ship.
Killing off Duke Abel is only part of the puzzle. You've also got to find whatever it is he's keeping for Delilah.
You were cryptic about what you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery. But once you're inside the Grand Palace, whatever you do could affect things in Karnaca for years to come. Remember that.
I've got a map of the Grand Palace for you, and I know something that may be useful. There's a hidden lever in the pantry that opens a passage to the Duke's vault. If he's keeping anything precious for Delilah, I suspect that's where it'll be. Beyond that, good hunting.
Everyone who crosses my path on the way to Duke Abel is going to regret it. They all deserve to bleed.
I hope I've been of some help to you. It's good to feel useful, here near the end of my time. Look at you. In a lifetime, how many monarchs have done half of what you have in a month? I hear the Duke's wine cellar is exquisite, if you happen to pass through. I remember telling you stories at the Hound Pit's pub so long ago. How you've changed.
It's not widely known, but the Duke has a body double. The man is the spitting image of Luca. A likable fellow, and quite humble. I've no idea where they found him, but the Duke's double has spent years passing for the Duke. I suppose Luca always hoped his double would be there to take an assassin's bullet. Take care. I hope to see you again.
Should we head toward the palace?
Let's get underway.
At the palace, the Duke has a look-alike body double, meant to confuse assassins. A friend of mine washes the linens and said the double is a smoker, if that helps. Maybe you can talk to him. She says he's a nice guy. What a shitty job, pretending to be a tyrant like Duke Luca Abel.
It's remarkable that people tolerate the Duke.
He's got an army, control of the mines, and he's had your support from the capital. At the Duke's parties, people carve up the country while eating boiled crab.
There were parties like that in Dunwall, full of toadies sucking up to me, stabbing each other in the back.
Poor Empress. I could see those party lights from the roof of the abandoned butcher shop where I slept. In the flooded district.
I know you grew up hard, Megan. I used to wander Dunwall with my face hidden. But when I got tired of it, I could always go back to the tower. Karnaka's given me perspective.
Good. After you've eliminated the Duke, find what he's holding for Delilah and take it. When you're finished, I'll pick you up in the skiff. Sorry if I sound bitter. Don't turn your back on the Duke. After we leave Karnaka, I'll get you to Dunwall. But then I'm done. You won't hear from me again. I know not everyone who lives in a great palace is a snake. But it's real easy to get accustomed to eating off silver plates. If you figure out which one is the Duke's double, you might want to see what he knows.
Sit here. Much chance a Grand Guard catches on to us, or maybe rightful owners coming to pick it up.
What's the delay getting it to the shop? Betty afraid we'll get caught?
The guy that runs the shop is nervous. But if they just let us move it straight off the boat. Now, I got a friend over at the shop. Been running protection for black market shops for years here in Karnaka and over at Colorado. So there's basically no risk.
What's your friend's name?
That's a secret. These guys deal with me and nobody else. Job security. I'll get the scars tomorrow. Wanna buy one?
You bet.
Here 3 years ago. Biggest mistake we ever made. It's not funny. Why does she want that apartment? Dust everywhere, no matter what you do.
like some victims were found half devoured. Blood everywhere. Am I seeing things? Saying something.
Didn't go anywhere after all. Enough daydreaming.
My face is covered. The Grand Guard won't... I was pretty sure I took it with me.
Stacking without a leg. That's what? Nothing. Worse than nothing.
Hello there. You find yourself in the most reputable safe shop in Karnaca.
exceptions. Either you have the code, or I assume something's off. You know I won't do this. You're wasting time.
Here you are, back among your own people. The palace-born, and those who curry their favor. Are you feeling more comfortable, Majesty? Are these the people you want running a quarter of your empire? No? It never seemed to bother you before. Maybe it looks different up close. Maybe here it's harder to ignore the way the people outside the palace get through the day. In any case, I know what you're after. The heart you carry can only hold one spirit at a time. So, if you want to walk out with a piece of Delilah, you better be ready to leave something behind.
going on here?
Someone.
Under the rope for you! Oh, my arm! We've been so...
Please take a look around. I'm clearing the stock and leaving the city. You get the you want blueprints for better weaponry. A deal well made. Very good. A pleasure to do business. Come back soon, if I'm still around.
Is it a curse or a blessing to linger past your time in the world?
Stone's throw from the Grand Palace where I'd be surrounded by oculus.